Writing Lady. Today I'm going to talk to you about the narrative pre-write activity. This starts off, of course, with our narrative writing component. So you're going to do this activity with your kids, your strong characters, setting time, setting place, action, what happens next, what happens next, what happens next, and how does the story end. Once you've gone over the components with them, you're going to take out your narrative pre-writing activity sheet and you're going to write B, M, and E on it. You're also going to have the cutouts already pre-made from the games and activities section that look like this. So you'll cut those out, and then those will go to the side, and then together the very first day you'll put them together in the order they should go. Of course, you'll be looking for the character, and here I'm going to put Grandma, and I'm also going to draw a picture of myself, and I'm going to put the name I. Okay, and then I'm going to say, when is this happening? Well, it's happening the first day of summer vacation, so I'll put that here, and then I'll find the calendar to match for the time. And the place, it's in Grandma's kitchen, so I'll find Grandma's kitchen and put that on the lines, and then I'm going to find a picture of Grandma's kitchen. And then I'm going to ask myself, what is the action that I'm doing there? Well, I'm baking cookies, so I'm going to put that here. And I'm going to put a picture of the cookies. And then, of course, I'll ask myself, what happened next? What happened next? What happened next? Now, the next one, there are 4 choices. The kids will be able to choose 3. They'll be able to choose their own choices. But for myself, I'm going to get the ingredients together. And then I'm going to mix them up. And then I'm going to put them on the pan. And put those on my lines. And then, of course, I'm going to go over here and find the pictures. So I'm going to put my ingredients, and then I'm going to mix them up. I'm going to put them in the oven. And how does my story end? Well, I gobble it with cold milk. So I'm going to put that down here, and cold milk. Now, of course, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my glue stick, and I'm going to glue each of these down so it becomes a permanent template for me. And make sure that my pictures match with my words. And this is your first activity that you're going to do when they very first come into your classroom at the beginning of the year, because a lot of them have forgotten how to write. They've forgotten the process. So you're going to go through the components and you're going to go through the steps. And then when you're done, you'll be telling the story orally. And as the time goes on, you can begin to write it. But for right now, you'll make sure that all your pictures match, that you've gone in the correct sequential order. And then you're going to take your template and you're going to hold it up, and the kids are going to do a sharing, elbow buddy sharing with their template. So they'll say, like, for example, I am Sally. I'm going to on the first stop. I am Sally. On the first day of summer vacation, I went to Grandma's house. I went to bake cookies. First, I got out the ingredients. Next, I mixed them up. Last, I put them in the oven. When the cookies were done, I gobbled the cookies and drank cold milk. And when I'm doing that, I'm orally sharing the story with them, and they'll orally share the story with me in elbow buddies. And then that's the end of the activity, unless you choose to take it to the writing level as a class. But when they very, very first come in, especially in first grade, they can't write all of this yet. So it's best to orally share the stories over and over, and as the year progresses, as you've been there for a few months, then you begin to write out the story.
Okay, I want to put it back
Okay, once they've completed their template and you've glued down both the words and the pictures to match, then you're going to take your template and you're going to get with your elbow buddy. You're going to again remind them the elbow buddies sit on the floor. They cross their legs crisscross, they hold their templates toward themselves, and they tell the story. So I would model for them at this point telling the story. I am Sally. It was the first day of summer vacation. I was going to Grandma's house to bake cookies. First, I put in the ingredients. Next, I mixed them together. Last, I put them in the oven. When the cookies were done, I gobbled them and drank cold milk. And that's how the story ends, and then they would come back to their seats. And at the beginning of the year, you're not going to have them write, you're just going to have them verbalize their narrative stories. And as the year progresses, you'll have them writing the whole entire story.
Okay, we're going to pick it up again. That was good. When you hold the paper, hold it so I can see it to the camera.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay?
So do the same thing again?
Yes. I'll tell you what. Take your hands out of there. Let's see. Okay. And go.
As soon as you have completed your template with your words on the right side and your pictures on the left side, then what you're going to do is you're going to have the kids get into their elbow buddies with their elbow buddies. So they'll be sitting on the floor, crisscross applesauce, and they'll be holding their templates. What they'll be doing is sharing the story. Before they go to share, again, always model to them or for them a very good story. So you're going to model and then they will share. So you would start off, I am Sally. It was the first day of summer vacation. I went to Grandma's house. I wanted to bake cookies. First, I put in all of the ingredients. Next, I mixed them up. Last, I put them in the oven. When the cookies were done, I gobbled them and drank cold milk. And at that point, they'll come back to their desk. Each one of them will have shared, and you'll have your first oral presentations of narrative. All right, when your students have finished with gluing their template, when they've glued the words on the right and the pictures on their left, then what you're going to do is move to elbow buddy share. Each student is going to drop next to their desk with their buddy, crisscross, take their templates, and there's really very little movement except for to drop behind their desk. So then you'll take your template and you'll start by sharing, and always make sure that you model the sharing with them one time before they do it with their elbow buddies. So for example, you'd say, I am Sally. The first day of summer vacation, I went to grandmother's house, or grandmother's kitchen. I wanted to bake cookies. First, I put in all the ingredients. Next, I mixed them together. Last, I put them in the oven. When the cookies were done, I gobbled them with cold milk. And then you have your story completed. Both of them will read it to each other, their elbow buddies, and return to their desk. At this point, you decide in your class if they're ready to just orally share or if you can begin the writing process.